What's cracking with you people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Jak 3. In the last one, we met up with Ashlyn. No, we didn't meet up with Ashlyn. That was the one before that one. No, we came back, and we did a gauntlet. Daxter, if you don't wake up, we did a gauntlet where we got a new Jak power and the ability to be in light Jak mode. We got the power to slow time. And in this one, we're going to do another minigame segment. One of the harder ones, but somehow one of the funner ones.
It looks just like the catacombs we saw in Haven City. But where do they go?
There you are! Ah, I'm so squawking happy I found you.
Look! Jak got a seal back, and it opens doors.
Onan says we must get back to Haven City. She says the catacombs are the key to the planet's very survival.
You boys up for a little ride?
And this is what I mean. By the way, Pecker, for some reason, he'll just try to fly forward without you. Which is funny. So I'm just going to do this, because you see him go, and then you just kind of leave him behind. Because this mission, ooh, I'm not gonna lie, this one's kind of hard to do, because it's a lot like the, zoomer sections in Jak and Daxter, where you gotta be real careful, but you get like a full 360 range of motion. You gotta be really careful as you go through, because there are, it's a health thing. There are, there's a health bar, and there are openings in the floor that can hurt, and not to mention this building. Okay.
You show promise, but your bravery will not protect you from the foes you must soon face. Use this light power to help in your quest. It is what little we have left to offer.
You said that 3 times. Now, if you hold the L2 button and circle, you get the light Jak shield. However, when you're in light Jak mode, if you just hold circle, you hit the shield. So you get a spin kick and you get a shield. I think how the shield works is that you don't lose light Jak energy if you activate it. You lose light Jak energy when you take a hit. And Daxter and Pecker do not get along. But this continues off of my last my rant in the last video. They give Jak his light powers too soon, and they give too many of them too soon. Like, we literally, in the episode previous to this one, we got the ability to slow time, and now we get the ability to use a shield.
It looks like some kind of old eco mine. When Mar built Haven City, he must have carved out these old caves to get at the eco power.
Sheesh! That Mar guy must have never slept much.
I'm going ahead to tell Onan we're back. Watch your tail feathers, Jak. This is a spooky place.
A spooky place. But yeah, no, what I'm more or less getting at is that shoot the bridge to make it lower. What I'm more or less getting at is that Jak's whole story arc in Jak 3 is pretty much him dealing with, nothing really going right. Because how to explain this? In Jak and Daxter, that's a pretty self-contained story, Jak's on an adventure to help his buddy Daxter. Hold up a second. We got metalhead geckos. Don't even need to be that near them to do any of this. There we go. So yeah, with regards to that, it's just Jak trying to help his buddy out. We fail ultimately, but we do end up saving the world, and as a result, it's kind of a byproduct, if you really think about it. Jak too. Jak is mostly out for revenge. He ends up saving the city, and by extension the world, by beating the Metalhead leader Core, as a byproduct. A lot of Jak saving the world as a byproduct is always a personal adventure. But Jak 3, Jak's not really on a personal adventure, at least not oh, yeah, right, I forgot. At least not blatantly. It's more of he's dealing with a situation that started with Jak 2. He's dealing with being an outcast because he was experimented on and has the ability to turn into what essentially an eco demon. Let's be honest here. Like, think Inuyasha. If he's not around something that lets him keep his calm, he goes into a berserker rage. I say Inuyasha because it's more accurate than, you know, the cliche, which is the Hulk, because the Hulk is a little bit different. That's more anger prone, whereas in Jak, because with Jak, it's hinted to be anger, but honestly, you could read it as him being in a high stress situation. But yeah, it's like Jak 3 is him dealing with being experimented on, having to go through unconventional means that he would never have gone through in Jak and Daxter. You know, siding with a resistance faction who's willing to kill people to get what they want, dealing with crew, a complete sleazeball, and essentially just wanting to kill they just want to get revenge for losing 2 years of his life to become a weapon. You know? And I'm gonna need you guys to die if you don't mind. And in Jak 3, instead of being, you know, thanked for saving the people of Haven City, the first thing they do when everything goes a little bit more foobar, you know, because they're still dealing with the Metalhead invasion of the city at this point that happened at the end of Jak 2. They're still kind of dealing with the repercussion. And then the Crimson Guard bots, they wanted someone to blame, and they blame Jak. So now he's dealing with that repercussion too. Things that he frankly has no control over. So now he just wants to get on with his life, essentially. And he had essentially 2 girls who were interested in, as far as he's concerned. As far as he's concerned, stabbed him in the back, didn't stand up for him, and just cast him out. As far as he is concerned. So it would have been more interesting if, you know, the first third of Jak 3 was Jak dealing with that. It's him devoting himself to the wasteland lifestyle and just relishing in the freedom that comes with it. And then I think they did a good thing of having his first light eco power come before he gets to Sig. But I think it would have been better if they had the moment with Sig first. He gets like some kind of message or something, like one of the two. I mean, because he goes to the no, wait, I take it back. I think the first one is okay, and the second one works well enough. But it would have been better if, you know, maybe a light Jak voice told him to like maybe inside of like the arena modes we hear like a more aggressive sounding Jak, relishing the fighting, relishing the arena combat, relishing breaking people. And maybe we have Daxter comment that, "Hey man, you're getting a little out of control now, don't you think?" And Jak just kind of brushed it off as, "Oh, don't worry, I'm just doing it to, you know, to be a part of the thing." Let's go in here. You know, just to kind of be a part of Spargus's community. But as he gets more and more into the arenas, he loses himself a little bit more, just working out his own anger issues essentially. And then when we get around to him, you know, getting his first light eco power, which I think makes sense because I forgot that we went to get that power as a byproduct of trying to find one of Scene's monks. Oh, by the way, the whole thing, the way this works is that these guys can't die by hitting them, but you are supposed to. They will do damage because as you're focusing on one, another one will try to hit you. So you can kind of shoot him off the edge right there. Animal cruelty. Don't do it, guys. And then you just kind of you know, use them to power these things because I guess Mar had a sense of humor in terms of like using animals. But yeah, no, it's like it would have been better if like when we get to the third one, as like this more aggressive sounding Jak is really reaching the zenith of his power. The moment he bumps into Sig, the more serene sounding Jak comes on and says, "Yeah, I know that's your friend." That tells him to say stop, and he realizes that he's about to put a bullet in Sig's head. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting. Interesting use of platforms there, Mar. I'll give you that. I think that would have been a little bit more interesting in terms of integrating Dark Jak and Light Jak. Like, you don't have to have them come out all the time. Like, actually have the physical forms show themselves. I think in Jak 2 you should have definitely had more instances where Dark Jak's physical presence shows up. You know, I definitely have more instances where it's like Jak is losing his anger more and more, and he just kind of like has like these scripted events where Dark Jak just kind of comes out and starts destroying people. You know, like to the point where it's like you could make an argument that he is turning into a bioweapon, which is what Praxis wanted. Okay, I thought that was there. Turns out it wasn't. That's what I know. But I think that would have been more interesting from a narrative standpoint, in terms of really emphasizing like what like Praxis's experiments did to him, you know. But we don't really get that. Instead, we get like the occasional one, but it's like it's kind of like sort of like a really awesome pose, and then you get into the gameplay and he turns out of it again. Like for this one, I would have definitely had, you know, instances where you just heard a darker Light Jak voice that really emphasizes that, hey, Dark Jak's getting more and more presence. Like, actually, here's a really good example of that. Prince of Persia. When I get around to that one, and I am going to get around to that one, in Prince of Persia 3, the Two Thrones, we actually have that duality situation going on. I forgot that Prince of Persia also did the edgy superhero kind of thing. Granted, Prince of Persia went about it in a kind of more roundabout way. You had your Prince of Persia, lighthearted. Prince of Persia 2, which was a complete tonal shift like Jak 2 was, but didn't have any of the lighthearted quirks that Jak 2 had. And then Jak 3 was kind of mellowed him out once he got done with the situation. And once you play a situation, you can kind of understand why it's a bit miffed. Anyway, we got another piece of Mars armor, leg armor. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like, got two more things. But it would have been more interesting to have that duality kind of playing out. Maybe not too often. Like, maybe have, like, moments where it's like, for instance, when he first bumps into Ashlyn. You hear Dark Jak go, "Oh great, here's the woman that sold us up the creek," or, you know, something really harsh. Nothing too crazy in terms of cussing, because, you know, it's still aimed at kids. But, you know, definitely something that's like, is like, "Here's the wench that sold you out. Here's the wench that sold us out." And then as you go through the fighting and whatnot, when he says something particularly harsh, you hear Light Jak admonish him going, "You know she's just looking out for you, right? Like, even now, she was still looking out for you." And then as it goes through, you see kind of both of them duel each other out, and then eventually, maybe not have like a segment Well, actually, well, I'll say that one for later. But actually, no, wait, I'm not going to promise on this now. Like in Jade Empire, you have a character who has a light and dark side, and you have a segment where you have to fight one of them off and pick who you want to be the permanent light or the permanent part of your party member is. I plan on playing Jade Empire eventually, so you don't have to worry about that too much. By the way, so this one, the Reflector is going to be your best friend.
We gotta shoot the track targets, Jak.
The Reflector is going to be your best friend because here's what it'll do. It's going to fly off and hit targets you don't even intend to hit. If you don't hit the targets, the thing blows up. So keep that in mind. There you go. But yeah, no, it's like it's one of those things where it's like you don't have to do a whole thing where light Jak or dark Jak have to battle it out, but have a moment where it's like Jak has to acknowledge that if he doesn't reconcile his dark side, and and learn to really try to control his light side, or at least try to understand what eco is, or whatever it is that causes this one to manifest, where he can more freely use it, then he's never going to have peace in his life. That would have been more interesting. And there is a way that they could have done it, which we will get into much later. Like there is a segment in the story that's like, while I don't mind it, if they had gone with this one little change, they could have really ran home their narrative, like the narrative potential they were going for with this story. That's how I feel about it. And there we go. That's how I feel about it. You know, at least with regards to narrative potential. The game is still great, and the story itself is still fun to like go through. But it's like one of those things that I can't help but think about as I, play the games. Like if they had changed like this one thing, or if they had emphasized this one point, how much different would the story have been?
The monks told me you were coming through the Precursor subrails. Interesting, aren't they? The Precursors used them to build the world countless eons ago. The rail system leads deep into the planet, where it's said the Ancient Ones wait to bestow unimaginable powers upon the worthy. I will save the world with that power, just as Mar did.
Yeah, you've done a great job so far, letting the metalheads destroy the palace.
Oh, you couldn't be more mistaken, dear boy. We're on a time clock, Jak. That light in the sky, do you know what it is? Our nightmare has found us and the end is coming. I needed quick access to the catacombs below, so I attacked the palace myself. It will be our little secret.
Well, you're full of surprises.
And you're full of dark eco. You and your rat are an abomination. But I will rid the planet of this scourge soon enough. Pure light will rule the universe, and I will be the bright light that shines to every corner of the world and destroys all shadows!
Excuse me, Count Vulgar.
It's Vega!
Yeah, whatever. Isn't it kind of nice just to curl up in the shade sometimes? Just chilling it, watching the hot babes prance around in their skimpy little bikinis. Just how they jiggle. I get that special tingling feeling in my tail.
Enough! We will stop the cleansing of the world with your demise. Behold, I now command the very power of the Ancient One! And this time, the Precursors will not have mercy on you.
The ironic thing is that we've beaten a bigger precursor. We've beaten a bigger precursor robot. Okay. Like, we have legit beaten a bigger precursor robot. Like, this really isn't that big a deal. Okay, if I remember correctly.
We need to do something with those mine cars.
There we go. I never knew those graphics were. I never knew that was in real time. Just one more. There we go. There we go. There we go. So yeah, the one thing I remember is that with this one, I think they want you to try to jump on them in a cycle. But I always just do this because this makes it easier. Granted, I'm probably going to... F perception. There we go. Because they want you to jump on it in they want you to jump on it in a cycle. Okay, this one's gonna be a little bit hard. Yep. Took too much damage early.
All right, cut. Where's the director? I can't work like this.
I forgot we had those. And while it is possible to actually do this mission without, you know, what's what I'm looking for here? Without using your light equal powers, it just kind of, I need it because I need a little bit of help right now, guys. Also, you don't even need to be on like the tallest one to even shoot them. I think the second tallest one, at least the one that gets you enough of an angle to actually, you know, hit them or auto target it. That'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna do that. Got them all out of light itself. Okay, let's time to charge there. Okay. There you go. Hell, we'll have a little bit of This is what we want.
Oh yeah! The boys are back in town!
Let's go topside and see what kind of trouble we can get into.
And we have a new light eco weapon, the Arc Wielder, which is essentially that. This is actually a pretty fun gun to use. I try to use it every now and then. It's actually the gun that made me decide to use the Vulcan Fury more often than not. Anyway, we're at time. It's been Anansi. You've been awesome, and I will catch you later. Deuces.